Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and welcome to another Worship on Wheels, man. You know, this is the third week in a row, man. Things are kind of returning to normal, aren't they? It's kind of nice. I like that. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about getting taught a lesson. Yeah, man, you ever been taught a lesson? You know, sometimes we hear that, man, I'm going to teach you a lesson, and it's not a good thing. And then other times it's like, man, I'm going to help you learn a lesson about something. And it can be sweet, it can be wonderful, it can be about just learning and growing overall, right? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the pain of growth and all that good stuff. But first, let's hear a quick Bible verse. All right, so the Bible verse of today is Psalm 94:12. Blessed is the man whom you instruct, O Lord. All right. So taking instruction and all that stuff, how does that apply to anything in life anymore, you know? Oh, well, God's going to teach me a lesson about something. Well, yeah, actually he will. Sometimes it's through hard times. In fact, a lot of times it's through hard times. You know, this life is one of those things where bad things happen to good people. I think you've seen that. And I had a conversation with a parent the other day who had a young person, one of their children, a young person to me, it's their child though. And what they were talking about was, Coach, they're doing this, and this is what's going on in their life. What should I do? And you know, it's one of those things where you're always reticent to give advice when it comes to other people's kids, because if your advice sucks, then, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you're the one to blame. That's not good. But this is one of the lessons that I've learned through the years of parenting adult children. And I always ask them this. I said, look, I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to allow you to formulate your answer, and then I'm going to give you one phrase after that, and then you have to decide how far you're willing to let it go. So here's what I ask them. I go, in your lifetime, if you could pick the times where you grew the most as a young adult, was it during the good times or was it during the hard times? And without hesitation, the parent always says it was during the hard times. During the bad times, the difficult times, that's when I always grew the most. And I look at them, and here's what I say to them. Don't rob your child of the opportunity to grow. It's one thing if what they're going to do is going to destroy their life, it's going to destroy their world. It's another thing if it's just a difficult time and we're being overprotective helicopter parents. You have to decide how far your kid is out there and what you're actually doing. So as we sat there and stared at one another after that, they said, man, that really does paint a bad picture of me sometimes, Coach. And I'm like, no, it shouldn't. Don't take it that way either. Because the reality is there are times where the best thing you can do is to bail someone out. And that's what we do at times, right? We need to bail people out every now and then. We need to help them because they can't help themselves. And even though they've done something and you're going, man, they've acted so poorly, maybe in your mind they even deserve it. But whether they deserve it or not is really irrelevant. What you have to do is you have to look at what is going to allow them to grow the most. If you truly believe that the suffering field is going to give them the most growth, you have to allow them the room to grow. If you believe that a blessing and bailing them out and holding them in their moment is what is going to allow them to grow the most, then that's what you need to do, regardless of what your emotions are telling you, whether you're angry or not, or upset with their behavior. Because the same holds true when we are instructed by the Lord. You know, in our life, there are many times we go through the suffering field and we go, God, pull me out. I can't handle it anymore. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. And you go through it, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I see Now I know how to love more deeply. I know how to care for people better. I know how to be a better father, a better mother, a better sibling, a better employee, a better citizen, a better friend. So always when we're being instructed, ask yourself that question: God, what are you trying to show me here? Should I be praying for what you're trying to teach me? God, could you show me it more clearly? Because I can tell you that once you learn, you're going to be pulled out of it. You're only there to learn the lesson, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, sometimes in life, the lesson is that life is hard. You ever thought of that? Sometimes we just need to learn that life is hard. We need to toughen up a little bit so that we can be there for other people, and that we cannot make mountains out of molehills. You know, are you one of those? I'm one of those. I'll make a mountain out of a molehill like you can't even imagine. Whereas really what I should be doing is making molehills out of mountains. I really should be doing it that way. But you take the most minute, minuscule, simple problem and you blow it way out of proportion. And then when a real problem rears its ugly head, you go, oh, now I see that really was a molehill, you know. It wasn't a mountain. All right, well, I pray that whatever molehill, whatever mountain you have in your life, if you're being taught, I pray that the suffering field is short and the learning growth is maximum. It is large and in charge, because that's how it should be. All right, well, know this, my friends, yes, you are loved, and so am I, and that is really great news. Now you go change the world, and we'll see you on the road real soon.